What if I told you that Manager Ullman in The Shining knew that the hauntings were actually real? Or how about that the lipstick-faced demon in Insidious didn't want Dalton, he used him as bait? Ladies and gents, welcome back your lovely faces to a brand new horror theory here on the channel. Last week we saw a number of horror theories which a lot of people seem to like, and the best one that people seem to like is that Kevin McAllister grew up to be John Kramer Jigsaw, which, to be honest with you, that can make a lot of sense, especially with the way how Kevin was kinda sadistic in Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. But today though folks, we are going to be starting with weapons. So the theory is that Alex is a willing accomplice. We're led to believe that Alex is an unwilling accomplice in Aunt Gladys's plans because she threatens him. However, we see that Alex is a victim of bullying by a lot of the kids in his own class. Now, when Aunt Gladys asks him for help and to go and get an item that belongs to each kid, he does it without arguing and without hesitation. And obviously, we also saw that when people questioned him, he just told people to stay away. Was he a willing accomplice, or was he an unwilling accomplice? Personally, I think he was actually a willing accomplice because he could get rid of the bullies. Aunt Gladys told him, "We want to make these kids like how your mum and dad is here at the table. We can make them do what we want, and if I wanted them to do this, they could eat each other. They could tear each other apart. I could." Maybe he heard that and went, "I can get rid of these bullies." Which, to be honest with you, is actually a really good trick if you are being bullied, because that is what they think. And obviously, getting rid of them, he did just that. Our next one we are looking at, folks, is Signs. M. Night Shyamalan brought this film out in the early 2000s, and to be honest with you, it's actually a really good movie. But the aliens in Signs are not actual aliens, but they are demons. So this theory goes that every single time Father Graham, or Graham as he tells people now, he doesn't want to be called Father, he encounters the creatures. And the creatures turn out to be demons sent by the devil to gather the souls of a family who has lost all their faith in God. We have seen this, that Graham loses his wife because of the crash. Every single time something happens, these creatures pop up. And the biggest one, when they're having dinner and the little girl says, "Are we going to say grace?" He's like, "No, just eat." Then it happens. But what were the aliens, creatures, or demons defeated by? Water. Now, this theory does go in to say that because he is a ex-father, or he still is a father, and he probably blessed his house, which would bless the water, so holy water is defeating these demons. Hence where the aliens are demons theory comes from. The next one, now this is actually one of my favorites, and this is the lipstick demon didn't want Dalton. The demon was never after Dalton, but was after Elise. Afraid of being defeated by her, the demon was waiting for Elise to come back into the further so he could kill her. For this to happen, he just happened to stumble upon Dalton, who wandered into the further by accident. Now we actually see this in the film when Dalton, he comes out of his coma and he says, one night I just went there and I was stuck, couldn't get back. But remember as well, he went through a red door and he saw the lipstick-faced demon and he was just playing on the piano, he was listening to songs, and that is where this comes from, which is actually a really good theory. So Elise, we do see her in chapter 3 and The Lost Key, where she goes into the further. She sees a few of the other demons that pop up in number 1 and part 2, and well, the lipstick demon's like, well, she's getting rid of a couple. She's already shown how much strength she has. Keyface, she got rid of him. Well, her mother did, but technically Elise brought that power in. In chapter 3, we saw Elise take out the man who can't breathe. So obviously, the lipstick-faced demon, he was a little bit like, we need to get rid of her. She's too strong and she could take us out. So the other part of the theory goes is that the bride in black and lipstick-faced demon came together and they hatched a plan. Dalton just happened to stumble into it. I really do like this one, and it's actually very plausible. Now this is another one which To be honest with you, it can and it can't be. It depends where you lie on if you want to bring comics into the canon of any franchise. And that is, Jason Voorhees is a Deadite. So the Necronomicon, or the Book of the Dead, is seen in Jason Goes to Hell the Final Friday in Pamela Voorhees' home. The director has even said that this wasn't just an Easter egg, but a way to explain the zombie-like state for Jason Voorhees and how he keeps coming back. But the best thing with that is, if you actually look at Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, the comic book series, it does actually show that the Necronomicon was used to bring Jason back. It's also got Freddy Krueger in as well, but that's just another part for another franchise. We're talking about Jason. And having the book actually be in the Final Friday in Pamela Voorhees' home, this just goes to show that she did in fact make the sacrifice, she read from the book, and she brought Jason back. I love this one to bits. Now, Braindead, aka Dead Alive, is possibly the greatest zombie movie ever made, and it's made by a young Peter Jackson. And with this one, I saw this the other day and I was a bit like, okay, this could be true, but I was also a bit like, very skeptical. And that is, Paquita was in fact a zombie. And the way that this came about is, if you listen to the end of the movie with the music, when the music reaches its crescendo, we hear a biting sound. The only ones alive are Lionel and Paquita. Now, Lionel, we didn't really see him get bitten, but he was taking everyone out, and yes, potentially he could have gotten bitten when he was with the lawnmower taking everyone out. But Paquita became a zombie and was bitten while fighting her way through the house, and more specifically in the kitchen, when we saw her actually fighting Lionel's uncle, and obviously the head came off, but then we saw her put the head in a blender, which is still one of the best zombie gags ever. But in that area there, that's when she got bitten. I'm still a bit like this, thinking if this one could be true or not, but nonetheless, it is in fact a great bit of a fan theory. Now, this is the one I was talking to you about at the start, folks. So Ullman sacrificed Jack Torrance and his family. Ullman knows that the hotel is haunted and has made a deal with the entity, which is not to bother the guests during the summer seasons, so Ullman can keep going, keep getting the income, and basically making each summer very profitable. But then Ullman needs to feed them souls and psychic energy, so during the winter time, we'll bring a family up. You can have the family, and we'll just keep the summers to us. Hence the open caretaker job every winter season. So with this one, there is a lot, and I mean a lot of theories online. Obviously, we know that Ullman's office, there's no way that a window should be where it is behind him, because when you come out of his office and you go around the corner, it's another hallway. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's where the lift is meant to be. So when you see that, and then you're thinking, that shouldn't be there. Then you got Danny, when he's riding around the overlook on his little trike. There's landings and doors going to places where it's like, well, that's the landing, where's the door going to? So many things are going on. But with this one, this could actually be true, because the next one we're going to look at, folks, the Overlook Hotel was built by the True Knot. The True Knot wanted to make a conduit so they could harvest as much steam as possible. Along the way, the energy from the Shining victims gave the Overlook a mind of its own, becoming too powerful even for the True Knot to keep it under control. So going back to Ullman, sacrificing people every winter, but he's bought it for the summer so it can be very profitable, this could be one of the reasons why. The True Knot, they need the steam to keep themselves young and to keep themselves from dying. Obviously, they know that Danny, because he's gone back to the Overlook, they follow him. And obviously we see the massive area, the fight between Danny and the True Knot, but we also see the original ending where Danny blows up the hotel in the boiler room. But the Overlook could have got a mind of its own, because with all the Shining victims, too much of that steam, the True Knot couldn't actually keep. So it's absorbed into the hotel, into the walls, floor, ceilings. Hell, it could even be in the blood. This is why every single winter they need a new batch of families just to go there, and, well, if they have the Shining, even better. That way then, the Overlook Hotel can take the Shining from it. Was Jack Torrance and why was Danny chosen? Did the true knot go about and set out that these people, the ones who have the shining, go to the hotel? You never know. But there's quite a few more we are going to take a look at, folks, but I'm going to leave that for the next video for part 3. So if you are new to the channel, like and subscribe. Let us down below your favourite fan theories. Were some of these your favourite? And until next time, guys, my name is Dan. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video if we all survive.